Hello, welcome to this video. Today we're looking at Microsoft Planner. So we can access it via the 9 boxes. Now I have got a video on the channel already, but it's been such a long time since I've looked at it, I thought it was worth a relook. So if we click on the 9 boxes, we can see Planner is there. So what is it? Well, it's a task management tool in essence. So let's have a look at what it looks like. So down one side, we've got My Day. So My Day allows you to prioritize tasks on that particular day. It's also available in To Do. If you're looking at just a to-do list, then I think Microsoft To Do is a really great tool. Click on the banner in the top right-hand corner and you can watch my video on Microsoft To Do. But we're going to focus on Planner. So you've got My Day, which, as I say, tasks which relate to that day. So when I click on there, we can add tasks and you can add due dates and prioritize. So you can see and you can view that either as a grid or as a board. When you click to My Tasks, we've got a variety of tasks. You can view all of the tasks that have been assigned to you, or private tasks, or flagged emails, just in one space, which is useful. And then we go to My Plans. You can view all of the plans. In this case, I've got recent, but you can look at shared, personal, pinned, and recommended. So to create a new plan, what we do is we can either go up the top or down the bottom. Down the bottom in the left-hand corner there, you'll see there's another option there, which is create a portfolio, but that's only available if you have a specific paid subscription. So we're going to focus just on a plan. So we'll come up to the top right-hand corner and we'll click create new plan. And you can see we've got a variety of options available. So we've got a basic one, we've got a simple plan, a project management plan, a software development plan, a business plan, or an employee onboarding. And we can see all templates if we want to. We can click on that to do that. I'm going to stick with a simple plan. So we'll choose that. And we've got basic. So that's fine. So we're giving us those. We're going to use that template. But you could see if I was to go to project management, it would look slightly different in look and feel, and it would have different headings. But we're going to focus on simple plan, and we're going to use template. So we're going to name it first of all. So we're going to call it JK Demo 1234. We can add it to pinned plans. We could add an optional group thing, but I'm happy just to leave it where it is. You can see when we do that, it has other elements that we could do. So we could add it to a particular plan already, or group it as part of a plan, but we're not going to do that today. And then we're going to click create. So once it's created, this is what it looks like to start with. So what we've got is we've got what are referred to buckets. So across the top, we've got buckets here. If we click on the dot, we can rename it and we can move it right if we want to. So if we didn't like backlog, we could rename that simply just by clicking on it. And then we'll call that priority and then enter. So we can rename them. We can move them around, as I say, just by clicking on the 3 dots. So rename. Obviously, as soon as we've moved right, we can then move left as well. So you can move them as long as you want. What we can also do, and each of these is referred to a bucket. So each column is a bucket. You can see that each column is a bucket. We can, if we want to, we could view it differently. We could have viewed assigned to, we could view it as progress or due date, but I'm just going to view the buckets. If we want to add more buckets, then we can scroll across to the right hand side and we can click add new bucket, and we could add a title for that. I'm going to just call that JK Demo 32. So that's how we can do it. So we can create buckets and we can move buckets left to right. So let's look at what else we can do. So when we add a task, we can put the name of the task in there. I'm just going to make something up. And we can click add task. We can assign it. So we could click assign and we could bring up a colleague's email and we could assign it to them. And we can also set a due date. So I could say, actually, I want it completed by Thursday, and I could click add task. So having added a task, I can then go in I can click on the three dots. I could label that task. So if I wanted to make it easier for me to view it and to track it, I could assign a color to that task. So let's go for teal. If I click on the three dots again, I can assign it, which I've said. I can make a copy of the task. I can copy a link to the task, which is quite useful because I can then send it to someone, and I can move that task. So if we click move task, we can move it. We can choose, does it go to a different planner, or do we keep it on that planner, and does it change bucket? So we've got all of the different buckets, and we can move it to a different bucket. So we can do that and move. So it's now moved it across, as you can see, to a different bucket. So if we click on it, we've got the assigned bit, which we've got the status. So what we can do is we can update the status. So at the moment that's in progress, but we could alter the status. So we could alter the bucket even. So we could alter the bucket. We come across to progress. We've got the option of not started, in progress and complete. So it's a great way to track how things have been done, where they are. So we're going to leave it at not started. With regards to priority, we can alter it between medium, important and urgent, or low. And what's really useful is if this is a end of month task, you could set it to repeat. So we can choose how often we want to repeat. So we could say monthly. So we clicked on that, it would repeat the task every month. So I'm going to return it back to does not repeat. We can add a due date. So we can set a due date, and we can set a start date as well. And then we can add a description of what the task is, and we can just paste in what it is there. What we can also do, and what's really nice, is we can add some granularity, because we can add some checklist bits. So we can add a couple of tasks. So I'm just going to really carry along the car washing theme. Fill bucket with water. Find whatever, but you can see what's nice is you can have it granular, so the task is there, and if you tick the little box here, you can have it displayed on the card. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. And then the last thing you can do is you can add an attachment. So it's really useful. You can reference a particular document. You could also put the link in the document there as well. And you can decide which information appears on the card. So if I put clean interior, I can hit show on card as well. So we can either choose to have the notes on the card or the checklist. I personally prefer to have the checklist, and then we're happy that's there. We can then close that. And now you can see that what we've got displayed is we've got the task and the subtasks displayed there. What we can also do is we click to label. It's possible to edit the labels. So we could edit the labels so that they are particular things as opposed to just a color. So you can see we've got dates showing at the bottom when it's due. We can move stuff between tasks. We can add new buckets. So what's really useful is you could have buckets either assigned to people or assigned to particular projects. And you can see exactly where people are. If you encourage them to update it, it just means that at a glance, people can see what needs to be done and who's going to do it. If you want to share a plan with someone, just like you do in the other Office apps, you can click on share and you could create a group, or you could add it, or you could just add new people just by adding their emails in there. View-wise, we can view it as a grid. So it just becomes a list of buckets, progress and priority. We can add a label if we want. So I could add a label in there, and we can also, at this point, we can edit the label. So I can go into pink and I can call it something else. So let's call it wash. So you can customize each of those. So it's really useful. You can help at a glance, people categorize it. So potentially it could be that it relates to a particular area of the business. So the task is working with a particular area of the business. You could color code them. And you can see, at this point, you can go through and edit any of those. So just again, helping people to see what's what. So that's how we can add and edit labels. So we can have a grid view, a board view. We can look at the schedule, which is what needs to be done. So we get a nice calendar view, and we can look at charts, and that would help us to get a bit of analytics on how things are progressing, where things are. So we can see a summary here on the status. We can see there are 6 tasks left, and we can see how many are in priority. We could also view members and other bits of information there. And we could choose to pin or unpin the plan as well. Click on the cog, it allows you to change the theme, and there's just the 2 themes there. So we could go for black or blue. I'll leave it as a black, and it really all it does is just change the banner at the top. We click on the title. We can look at the plan details. We can copy a link to the plan. So we wanted to be able to show someone. And we can also export it to Excel, which is really useful. So you can see it as an Excel document. And that is pretty much what you can do with Planner. So there you have a quick guide to using Microsoft Planner. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, remember to subscribe to the channel and join me again soon for more EdTech videos. Thanks for watching.